So I probably should go out there and look.
Looks like we're live, Vinny. Although in some instances, how live can we be? Measured against a potted plant, we're alive.
Yes, I'm a hot mess this morning, Michael, and I apologize to you and our audience. I just have I've got the goiter, man, or whatever it is, and it's just affected me this morning. So,
Well, we're all
my
with you, Vinny.
apologies.
We're hoping that you're going to feel better soon.
Michael, I'm hoping to, and I trust I will. Um, I just it's been it's been a nonstop party since about 4 o'clock this morning when I woken. You know, one of those the whole thing is a party.
Oh
It's
yeah, it's a party.
just what was that song? Oh, let me pull this down. What was that song? Ain't nothing but a house party.
Jay
I can't
Giles
remember.
band.
Gap Band.
Jay Giles band.
Jay Giles, yes. And but somebody did it before them. Some soul like 60s or
Yeah,
50s soul person did it. And of course I love Jay Giles, but ain't nothing but a house. That's what this show is.
that's
It
what it
ain't nothing
is.
but a couple of guys get together. Nobody else will let us into their coffee shop, so we just sit here by ourselves.
And they won't let us near a radio station. Radio stations are a bad place to go if you want to do radio.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the last place in the world where they gather to do radio is in a radio station.
Could we do what we do, or even what we wanted to do, if we were at a radio station?
Yeah, we could do it for one show.
Yeah, they let us. They'd say, yeah, you're good for one show, and after the one show, they'd show us the door.
We should do like a midday thing on Cairo, just Saturdays and Sundays.
They're not smart enough to hire. They're not smart enough to hire us. The people that run things over there aren't don't have enough brains in their head to hire us. Um,
What have they got instead? Just sawdust?
or else we would have been there 4 years ago. And the couple of times that they told me they were going to hire me and then lied to me about it. So
That's
um,
weird.
I have no faith.
That's going the extra mile.
Well, that's the religious Mormons. That's the Mormons. They listen. We're all on the side of the Pope these days because he's going up against Donald Trump. Uh,
He'll take 2 out of 3 every time.
Sometimes the whole religion thing can be just people that out and out use religion to lie. So and that's why you have to always read your Bible with a grain of salt, and a little pepper too. Anyway, I don't want to get into a whole
And some hot
conversation
sauce.
about that. How are
Can I?
you, pal?
I'm fine. I would replace the salt and the pepper with some hot sauce. There's a lot of choices. It doesn't have to be too hot, but it has to be spicy and has to add to the flavor.
How come Preparation H has never come out with a
With the hot sauce,
extra hot flavor?
I think they thought about it. It's still they're doing some research. Where are their headquarters anyway? Is it like Bethlehem, Pennsylvania?
Probably, well, that's what's great about
Battle
it
Creek,
these days.
Michigan.
It's probably Pennsylvania because, if I'm not mistaken, they're a part of Bayer, aren't they? Which is headquartered
Bayer.
near Pittsburgh.
Well, Bayer, of course, are the good people who invented heroin.
Yeah. Um, and made sure that Hitler was medicated enough to carry on. It could have killed him in one fell swoop.
Hey, he didn't feel that good. Okay, at the end, he wasn't his best. A little Bayer product could help shorten the war.
Well, they thought that they were like many. Well, you get Preparation H, and then of course you get the second thing is preparation for the next life. Now,
And then does that come in a salve? Can that be applied liberally to the affected areas?
I hope so.
You got a tag on your hat. You know that?
Yes. I have a strange thing. Now, this hat that I'm wearing, I was going to get into it in a minute, but this hat that I'm wearing is a present from my beautiful daughter, who made her way back from Japan over the weekend. She was over there for 2 weeks and attended opening day
Whoa.
of
The Tokyo somebodies.
Tokyo. Well, actually, this is the Hanshin Tigers hat, which was the opposing team to the Tokyo Giants. Anyway, and this was she always brings me back a hat from opening day. And so this, of course, this is her now second or third, I think third opening day in Japan. As a matter of fact, she's gone to more opening days in Japan
And she has in Seattle.
Than she has in Seattle or American baseball teams, even the A's. So, anyway, so I got the hat.
So did her team win?
You know something? I never asked her. We were too busy having fun, and she was too busy showing me pictures of what was going on over there. And it was
their season is close to ours in terms of
they start right around our time. I think they're shorter than us. I think they're like 130 games, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm not sure.
That'll do.
But I believe it's something like 130 games. And okay, so the Preparation H headquarters is GSK, which is Warren, New Jersey.
Where the hell is that? You know your Jersey better than I do.
Yes, Warren, New Jersey, if I remember right, is north central New Jersey. There's like kind of a curve that's Interstate 287 or 278, 287. And it kind of swings around the northern part of New Jersey, kind of in the center of the state. And I believe that that's where Warren, New Jersey is. I'll look on the map in a second because, I mean, I wouldn't want to be wrong, but I think that's where it is. There's like Whippany, Parsippany, which we've spoken of on the show before. The great sisters, Whippany and Parsippany.
They were a caution, those girls. Don't go over to the house if you want to take a nap. It's a crazy place.
Yeah. No, they like to Whippany and Parsippany like to play. They said we'll sleep when we're dead.
They never calm down, those girls.
Not good girls. The song was "Good Girls Don't." Well, they did.
And this is what happens when you go to central New Jersey. Strange things happen. You should expect it.
So did you look at Warren, New Jersey and see where that is, or?
No, I'm gonna stay away from the world headquarters of Preparation H as long as I can. I don't even want to drive by accidentally.
Yeah, I almost nailed it. It's right off of Route 78, which is probably, by this map that I'm looking at, pretty much 10 miles or so under 287.
If I were to interview the head chemist for Preparation H, my first question would be, are the ingredients that you use in your product increasing in price because of the Straits of Hormuz being closed?
Well, yeah, definitely, because you have to truck them there, don't you?
It's got to come by truck, whatever it is. It's got to leave Warren, New Jersey by a truck, nice truck.
Anything coming by truck, it's up. I saw the upper $7 range this weekend for diesel.
Whoa.
And
that's our price. It's probably more expensive in Europe for their diesel.
Yeah, and it was actually at a truck stop.
And that's why our good friends in the NATO alliance are so angry with us, because we went out of our way to cause all our products to increase in price.
Things were going along nice and easy. Things were, it wasn't a great thing. It wasn't perfect, but
it's a
you
mess
could get
now.
diesel for under $5 a gallon. It was $4.99 or $4.89 or something like that.
And when J.D. Vance calls in the middle of the night saying Trump is dead and I need some help with NATO, they're going to go, wait a minute. We're not done with you guys yet. We're still a little pissed off. We still have a bone to pick. We still have things to settle. Don't be calling in the middle of the night just because.
Of this son of a bitch, that he would have the nerve. This guy's been a Catholic for, 3 years?
And now
to tell the Pope how to run the religion.
I can tell you how to run your outfit. You guys got an outfit? We got an outfit. Now I'm going to tell you how to run yours.
Third grade level book, third grade level people that read it, third grade level
results.
Michael,
have you seen Marco Rubio in the last 2 months? Anybody seen our Secretary of State?
Yeah, he's the guy with the shoes that are 8 sizes too big. You can't.
He's wearing the wrong, because he got his gift shoes don't fit. One size fits all, or one size fits nobody.
Not shoes. That doesn't happen in shoes, Michael. Shoes have to grab you in a certain.
They got to fit your feet. So Marco Rubio should wear he can wear flip flops to his meetings.
No, because the boss don't start calling him Little Marco or something like that. It's just a so no. The answer to your question is no. Why? Did you need him for something?
Well, there's enough stuff going on for the Secretary of State to actually have something to do. This would be the type of challenge that he would have to meet with actually working. And I haven't seen him in a meeting. He hasn't been anywhere. He hasn't said anything. He doesn't stand beside Trump. He doesn't stand beside the flag. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't have meetings. He doesn't talk to other representatives of the foreign relations world that they live in and work in.
Who wants to talk to him, Michael? Who wants to talk to him? Who wants to talk to anybody in this administration? The reality of it is, Michael, if we didn't have a nuclear bomb, nobody in the world would fucking talk to us.
What about Greenland and Cuba? We're not finished with them. Don't we have plans?
Nobody talked to us. If we didn't have a nuclear bomb, if people weren't afraid of this country and this administration going apeshit and just starting to fry the world, nobody would talk to us.
I'm surprised we haven't heard from the generals. The Pentagon's got nothing to say to anybody. Of course, the guys who speak up get fired.
Right.
I'm just wondering, when somebody makes an order, who's the guy that makes the order that says close the Straits of Hormuz? I need 20 ships in the strait, and I want them to stop everybody. But that's what the other guys are doing. I know, but I want to show them how.
You can't.
Well, if you send 20 ships to the Strait of Hormuz, why can't they be there to open it, not to close it? A grand opening. You can have balloons for the kids.
Yeah. You could probably pay David Letterman enough money to come out and do an appearance for a couple of hours.
Do the top 10 for the strange things said in the Strait of Hormuz in the last 10 days.
And if you can't get Letterman, Will Lee is available. I mean, I've seen, the talent. What do they call those? The talent rosters, the talent indexes.
Will Lee, the bass player.
Where you own a base, where you own a business and you want to hire a celebrity to come out to your business for an event,
for a remote,
to promote something, and you got them all the way from $1 million all the way down to $250.
You can get the chemist from Preparation H from Warren, New Jersey. He'll come by.
Be happy to come by and explain how the stuff works.
Show you how they mix it together. Yeah.
What I want to know is, how do they get it in the tubes?
How they keep it in. You can get it in, but it won't stay.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but the one end of the tube is open. and the thing squeezes it in, and then there's a crimping tool.
The thing squeezer right next to the crimper. You can't miss it.
Well, they got a big thing, and it's got a bottle of the preparation H that a couple of guys from New Jersey mixed up in the back room, and then they got it in the bottle, and this little line comes along, and they have the tubes, and they're open at one end. They have the cap screwed on them, and they just go squeeze it in, and they crimp it. Squeeze it in, and they crimp it, and there's your preparation H.
There you go. The price is going up. If you need some, get some, or just get some today and keep it around until you do need it.
Well, everybody's going to need it, especially if you're a Republican, because you know that you're full of shit.
Back to Marco Rubio.
I rest my case.
Marco.
I now charge the jury to go in that room and come out with a verdict.
12 angry men.
Who was the angriest of the 12 angry men? Was it Lee J. Cobb?
The guy that looks like Lee J. Cobb, but is not Lee J. Cobb. There's another guy that's if you know who I mean. He's a character actor. He was in so many movies.
Yeah, he looks like him, but he's not him. But yeah, you're right. He was the anger because he had that seething anger.
Yeah, he was angry about more than just one thing.
And they try to sell it to you that Henry Fonda is really the angriest guy.
No.
But I don't know that works for me. You know, you just get that feeling that he's angry too. He's the typical kind of angry that many liberals, I'll say this about the liberals more than the conservatives, experience. They get angry, but they don't really do much about it. Now, he did some stuff about it, but
well, he was too thoughtful to be the angry. He was too thoughtful to be the angry man.
Yeah, if it would have been 12 thoughtful men, he would have been the guy.
By the way, Paul McCartney's playing the Fonda Theater in Hollywood. He's printing up new T-shirts for it.
Nice. I can get him a deal on those shirts.
You can get a deal on playing the Fonda too. It's dark a lot.
My friend George, does T-shirts, and I'll bet you he'd be happy to cut Paul and his people a deal.
Cut him a deal
for some nice shirts, and then he'll get them to him on time.
The price goes up slightly. McCartney T-shirts go up slightly in the price because of the Strait of Hormuz being closed.
Well, the people that are buying McCartney shirts, I don't think are worried about the price. Do you?
After you've spent enough to get your seat, you might as well get a shirt.
Yeah, I mean it's like the Springsteen show. People are buying the merch, but they're not worried about the price because whatever it is, it's not a point of how much was it. It was a point of I got it before it sold out.
I got one. It's not my size, but
I have a bracelet that maybe will fit me now. It's never fit me. I've had this thing for years. And it's what it is really is it's a little drive that you would plug into a computer, and a concert, the full concert that you attended, is on that drive.
Whoa, that's great.
Pretty good idea. In perpetuity, you have the concert.
That's going to cost you a little something.
Yeah, I think I paid some stupidly ridiculous price for it, but I just thought it was such a cool idea. I said, why didn't they invent this like in 1965?
When we get our weekend show on Cairo, we'll play that. We'll talk it up, talk about the individual who came up with the idea, and then we'll play a song from it.
I'm sure that I know that the sales department will want to cut it at though.
Well, if they play ball, we'll play ball.
They'll want a piece of that. They'll say to us, we need some help with this. And can you guys help us? Because I can't get anybody on the weekday staff to help us out.
Yeah, let's talk.
So we'll talk to them.
Just like we always said, it's got to be interesting for the people who aren't playing at home.
And we are.
If it's a contest, it's got to be fun for the people who don't play the contest. It's got to be entertaining.
Right. That's how Goodson and Todman made a living. Like they had a game show, but they brought baseball players onto the game show in a city that had an overabundance of baseball players because there were three, not one, not two, but three major league teams in town.
And they had a guy named Pee Wee who was a lot of fun.
They had a Jackie, a Pee Wee. They had a Pete Reeser. They had a Willie Mays. Had a Leo DeRocher. I mean, think of the pickings.
Leo was always good on TV. He was a talker.
Well, he had a wife. He was a professional.
He was a presence.
Yeah, I mean, his wife could coach him pretty easily. Lorraine Day.
Oh yeah.
Was his wife, and she was a pistol herself.
She would double park in front of Dempsey's
and wouldn't give a crap what you thought about it.
Nope.
No Nancy Seaver was she. You know? And I'm not saying anything bad about Nancy Seaver. I always thought she was an elegant woman. The kind of woman you'd want to be your mother.
Concerned about her image.
Well, I don't know so much concerned about her image as she was concerned that her husband was treated fairly.
That's a tough one in professional sports.
I think it's a tough one in everything. I mean,
because they're going to love you today, but they might not love you tomorrow, and that's going to hurt.
Right, and you've lived that. I've lived it. We both have lived in businesses where the people will think nothing of attacking your wife, your kid. You know, anybody that you...
Anything's fair game.
Anything is fair game. And to be fair, probably is, because we put ourselves in a position of public display.
Yeah.
That's why we make that sizable money.
Which is down to what? What does a television reporter make now? $30,000?
It's down to it's down to I really can't afford to do it, and by that I mean go to the movies.
We can't afford to cover the news.
Yeah, well, they don't need us to cover the news anymore. They can just have an AI thing do it. I mean, social media.
It only took 2 weeks for AI to ruin Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's exactly where I was going. I was just going to say, I mean, look at Facebook these days. It's no longer, a thing where you open it up in the morning, you see how your friends are doing.
Good luck.
It's this AI generated crap that is has quickly taken over the platform and makes it unreadable, unwatchable, unlistenable.
And you can't trust any of it, because there's people that are dead that aren't dead, the people that are born who aren't born, people who just got a 3-picture deal who didn't, people on TV who aren't there.
Yeah, it was and it was pretty much immediately trackable as a AI thing, who generated a report, and I don't know if the report is true or not, if it's based in fact or not, but it said something about Rick Riz, my friend, his cancer being reoccurring.
No lie.
Which I don't know is true or not, because I haven't had a chance to call Rick Riz and say, Rick, I saw this. Is it true? But in the thing, that they put on there, they said Rick Riz has kept us entertained as the voice of basketball in Seattle for many years. Now, that's right there is like, stop reading it. But yet, there's a list of maybe 200-300 people who are wishing Rick well, who are praying for his speedy recovery. You freaking fool. Can you not see? Are you that stupid? Anyway,
Well, he calls a good basketball game. We've all lived
Yeah.
through so many years of his calls.
And I'm not saying he's never called a basketball game, because I believe he may have actually called some basketball games for Root Sports when they had the Huskies, when they would show Husky or Cougar basketball games. I believe he may have called a couple of games. I know he called football games. I heard him do football games. He was is quite good at it.
I'm not surprised.
Well, also, Michael, it's interesting in that when you hear a voice that you expect to hear doing one thing, and you hear that voice doing something else,
it's like a wake-up call.
You listen to it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait a minute. So I'm hoping that is just a bunch of AI bullshit, and that it'll prove to be nothing but nothing.
And if you find on Facebook some the cat group you're part of saying you haven't been very active lately, say hello. Give us a. I absolutely refuse.
Well, that's the word. That, and the other thing about what was the one that Trump used a couple of weeks ago in one of his speeches? Oh, if you agree with it, if you agree. Oh, we did it in the State of the Union address. If you're pro-American, stand up for this country. I mean, it was nothing but that same trope of click love if you're against baby killers.
Right.
It's like the stupidest, and yet people continue to fall for it. You look
I'm here. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I've been a member since 1999.
Warren, New Jersey. I live next door to the Preparation H factory.
I'm right there. I'm right there where the truck's loaded in.
Crimping those tubes every day with the electric tube crimper.
You can hear the crimper all during the day.
As a matter of fact, I don't buy Preparation H. I go over to the factory at 5:00, and they let me take a Q-tip and just run it along the crimper.
Well,
and as long as I don't get a metal shard in there, I'm usually okay.
Well, it's your crimper.
Warren, New Jersey. There used to be, near Warren on Route 22, a Stewart's root beer stand.
I remember them.
Much similar to the A&W root beer, except it was Stewart's. And I always liked it a little bit more than the A&W. It had a sweeter taste to it.
A little vanilla ice cream. What do you got?
Yeah. It just tasted better. It was frothier than the A&W.
Root beer should have a froth.
Yeah. It should, and there should be a taste to the froth. The froth should not be tasteless. Anyway.
Right.
But there was I used to stop at this Stewart's root beer stand many times when I worked out in Jersey. You'd be going along Route 22, and
here comes the stand,
and there it is, a big orange jack with seats all on the outside of the booth. And the great thing about this booth, this stand, is that it was tough to get a seat in it. Rain, snow, shine, heat, whatever the temperature was.
People wanted their root beer.
People wanted their root beer, and they made the hot dogs on the grill. So that when you bit the hot dog, it crunched.
We can work with that.
It was heaven. And I think it all cost you $1. You got a hot dog and a good size glass of root beer for $1.
Would they be offended if I brought my own tangy German mustard?
Yeah, you couldn't. It's Jersey. You can't offend anybody. Although I wouldn't show up. I wouldn't show up at Pizza City with your own Parmesan cheese.
Your own pepperoni. No, don't
Yeah,
forget.
your own pepperoni. I'd stay with what they have.
Yeah, I
They have a
agree.
deal, and you don't want to upset the guy with the deal. So
You don't want to right now. You don't want to upset the cardinal representing New Jersey because he's on edge.
well, boy, they're wicked. I mean, it's amazing if you look at the statements. And
The
everybody
Catholics,
now is,
the Catholics are up and at him. The Catholics are armed. The Catholics are up. They're ready. They're ready. Let's vote. Let's vote now. Let's see who gets elected.
I wish the Catholics would have been this upset about the so many priests that were plugging young boys.
Later, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I wish they would have been that upset about that dark chapter in Catholicism.
So you can complain about the goings on in the Catholic Church all you want, but if you take on the Pope, you better be ready for a wrestling match.
Especially this Pope. You know, this Pope has achieved
his approach to this is wonderful, Vinnie. He says, I think I'm right about this. I think I'm right about the gospel. I think I'm right about the teachings of Jesus. I think praying for a victory in the war is not what this religion is all about. And I'm pretty sure I'm right about that.
And he doesn't name the people. He doesn't attack President Trump. He attacks war.
Right.
He doesn't attack Marco Rubio. He attacks the people that want to see this war continue, that want to prosecute a war. He attacks the people who would take this money that is given to their government, sometimes not so freely, but that is collected by this government, and use it at a rate of a couple of $1 billion a day to blow people's bodies apart.
And if you're Shell Oil, they just want this thing to not necessarily escalate, but to continue like it is for a little while longer because we're making wonderful profits, fabulous profits, remarkable profits, things we didn't expect it. We didn't have this penciled in for our quarter.
Wait till you see our Christmas bonuses. I mean,
but it's working fine for us. I know it's a little bit of pressure on the consumer, but according to Donald Trump, it's a pain that's going to go away.
Well, he's not sure when, though. What was this thing over the weekend that, people are going to, you can't expect, well, this was just the weekend before. You can't expect to have a country where we're going to be able to fight wars and provide medical service for people.
And as near as I understand it, even when he's driving in the Chevy Suburbans, he doesn't have to pay to fill the tank. I think the Secret Service has to get that. They got the credit card. They got the company card.
They got the Texaco credit card. They whip it out. They pull in the gas station. Put the gas in.
Never check the price.
They don't check the price. They don't have to. But you know what? I'm guilty of that too. I mean, although I had to get gas last night, I was with my daughter. We went to the Gull gas station, not Gull, the Gull gas station.
2 L's.
And I said, let's just get enough gas to get us to Costco.
Good point.
Well, don't fill it up. Let's just get gas. Gas at Costco is $4.95 a gallon. Gas here is about $5.75. It's not 10 cents, 20, 30, 40. We're $1.50, $1.75 difference here. I'll get enough to get to Costco and then fill the tank in the car.
How is Costco selling it at a loss?
Well, I can't be losing too much. They're going to open up reportedly like 50 to 75 standalone gas stations in the next 5 years.
So they're going in and they're going to be competition for everybody.
No Costco around it, just a gas station.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Now, do you have to join the club?
You know what? I don't know if you do. I would bet if you were to say to me, is this a good idea, Vinny? I would say that they'll come out with a reduced fee membership. For $10, you can join the Costco Gas Club. and that will entitle you to buy gas at Costco and maybe 1 or 2 trips to Costco throughout the year to the store.
Or you can
So
get tangy German mustard in a big jar.
yeah, so you can get a big vat of Heidelberg #1, and
Heidelberg number. Was that named by?
What else would you name a German mustard? Heidelberg #1. Oof, I'd like to see what the Heidelberg #2 is. But, and probably draw people in with that.
I would think so.
I mean, even if you collect $10 a pop from all the people who don't have a Costco card, that's going to cover your expenses of making the card.
Will they do the window and check the water and check the air and check the tires?
Probably not. But I'll tell you what.
They should.
When I go to Costco, when I get out of the car, a lot of times I got to use the cane. I walk with the cane. There's very few times that I've gone to Costco that there's this really nice guy who works at the Costco over here on Highway 99 hasn't come up to me and said good morning, asked me if I need help putting the gas in my car.
Good job.
I mean, I guess they have to do that by law, but you don't have to say good morning. If you go to most other gas stations and you show up with a cane, they look at you as if you
move along
are bothering them. Wait a minute, I'm on page 2 of my comic. When I finish it, I'll get out there and help you. But this guy,
to see what Nancy and Sluggo are up to.
Yeah. But this guy seems to take that part in his job when he was doing the interview, and they said, "Well, this job is about service,
meeting the people, meeting the needs
helping
of the people
who come in, who are old, who are can't necessarily pump the gas themselves for whatever reason. It's your job to walk over and help them. You don't even have to just ask them if they need help." And he does that, and he seems to be happy about doing it. And I applaud Costco for having him there, and I applaud him for having the initiative to do something like that. And that's why I almost never, unless I'm on empty, and I mean dead empty, buy gas from anywhere but Costco.
Right. Well, Vinnie, I know we had a late start because you weren't feeling well. You want to call it?
But you got anything else that you want to? Want
to say hello to Jackie Robinson on Jackie Robinson Day in baseball?
Yes.
Want to say hello to the Giants who are losing miserably and can't figure out how to score runs?
Jackie wanted some of Jackie Robinson's famous words. Besides, I'm joining the board of chock full of nuts because it's a heavenly coffee. Is I am not going to play for the Giants.
No, I'm a Dodger.
I'm a Dodger. I'm not going to play for the Giants. I mean, you want to trade me to the Reds? You want to trade me to, pick a team? But there's no way that I'm going across that bridge and I'm going to play in that godforsaken. It's tough enough for me to get it going to get over to the Bronx.
You think I'm going to play in Candlestick Park or?
No, at the time it was the Polo Grounds.
Coogan's Bluff.
I'm not playing there.
What is on Coogan's Bluff right now today?
The Willie Mays houses.
Really?
Yeah. It's it's a housing project that was erected when they started. And in fact, the first couple of buildings were up before they closed the Polo Grounds.
Wow.
And so you can stand on that corner, and there is a large sign there that says the Willie Mays houses.
And there's a picture of Willie taking a swing at a pink Spalding.
Yep. And just as in Brooklyn, there is a sign for the Ebbets Field houses that are where Ebbets Field stood.
Incredible.
Once stood. And there's nothing at Yankee Stadium where Yankee Stadium used to stand.
Not even an Irish cop?
It's a parking lot. It's the players' parking lot. The old Yankee Stadium is now the players' parking lot for the new Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
So
another gift from the Steinbrenner family.
But I always thought that it was very cool that they named, a portion of Coogan's Bluff for Willie Mays.
Oh, I agree.
They never gave him a boulevard, which I thought he was due in New York.
And they never traded him to St. Louis for Ray Sadecki.
Right, and they never traded him. They made sure Mrs. Payson, who still to this day I say was the best owner of the Mets ever, made sure that when the time came, they didn't say, well, it's too much money or it's this or it's that. It's like, go send a plane.
Get me that man.
And get him here to Shea Stadium, where his number 24 will be retired. And
that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah, will be the guy. But we talk about Jackie Robinson, and I'll just say that it is beyond my comprehension how a human being in this day or that day or any day could have turned the other cheek, could have operated in the environment that Jackie Robinson operated in.
Imagine putting on a uniform and having to play a game with that atmosphere. A game, mind you.
The Bobby Bragans of the world and the racists that were in baseball at the time.
On every team.
On every team, his own team.
Right.
And the only thing I'll also add to it is the other, I won't say a bigger act of bravery, but certainly an act of bravery that will always stand out in my mind was when it was at its worst, one man on his team walked over to him and put his arm around him. And if you don't understand the impact of a white man putting his arm around a black man in front of 30,000 people in Brooklyn on a summer afternoon, you don't understand life.
You don't understand what they were doing in the first place.
You don't understand what was going on. You've had it too easy in your life. If you don't understand that.
Today's San Francisco's birthday.
And that was, I want to get the name right. Was it Pee Wee?
Pee Wee Reese, yeah. It was Pee Wee. It was
the biggest man on the team.
Yeah, it was just the idea of Pee Wee being doing that, a spontaneous, not anything that was planned.
No,
not anything, just something where one human being felt bad enough for another human being who had to endure unbelievable hate in his life, and went out there and tried to do at least in some small little way. Say
because it got better. It got better, but it never went away.
Yeah, it got better. It still hasn't gone away, Michael. It still hasn't gone away. I always, and I know I'll go after this, but I always go back. And I remember that conversation I had with Mark McLemore when I was doing the
Vinnie, we lost you.
Got it?
Yep, you're back.
And I just, not even offhandedly, but just asked him a question that I hadn't planned to ask him about getting pulled over by the police, because besides being a baseball player, Mark McLemore was an exotic car dealer.
Oh dear!
So here is this guy driving Ferraris and Porsches and all these different beautiful exotic cars around Texas.
Maybach.
And, the cops see him and they see a black guy driving one of these cars.
That's not going to work.
And you know that they're pulling him out of the car. And how he would talk about how scared he was that he would push the button on his cell phone so that his wife could hear everything that was going on. And how those same cops who pulled him over
Asking for an autograph.
for tickets
For tickets.
and an autograph. Oh, my son plays Little League. Could you?
He loves you.
He loves you. You lying bastard. If your son saw him on the street, he'd cross the other way. And that's because you told him to.
Taught him to.
So, just never forget that. Never forget that it was truly one of the most enjoyable, not in a happy sense, but one of the most incredible parts of the job of asking a question and getting an answer that went far beyond what you thought you were going to get.
That happens. Not often enough, but that sure happens.
Yeah. And hopefully somebody would be listening to it.
Moved by it.
And moved by it and thought, wow, somebody actually did that, and try to change it. Want to get together Friday?
Let's do it. Let's make it a Freaky Friday. It'll be Fractious Day.
Yeah, it'll be Fractious. The tough times for our teams right now.
Yeah.
All of our teams are not doing well. But you know what, Michael?
It's still early.
It's early. Boy, the Mets are a hot mess. I don't know about how bad the Giants are.
Giants scored one run and thought they would do it. They scored no runs for a while. And they said, we can't win when we score no runs. What if we scored just one? Not two. What if we scored just one? You still lose 2-1 to the Cincinnati Reds.
But we're getting better.
Mark Schott didn't even have to show up.
We're getting better. We're making things better. We're improving. There's signs of improvement. I think Steve Cohen tweeted that last night.
The baseball straights are open.
The baseball was round.
Really round, almost perfectly round.
It's a good movie. The baseball was round, but the game got pretty square.
Okay, man. I'll see you Friday.
See you, Mikey. If the Lord's willing, the creek don't rise.
I don't know what the Lord.
On Friday.
Yeah, lay off the Lord these days, folks. You saw what happened when you took on the Pope. Don't take on the big man. Don't
take on. Do yourself a favor. When you get up in the morning, admit to yourself one thing. Many people have to look in the mirror and say, "I am an alcoholic." I admit that, and they go on with their day, and it keeps them cognizant of the fact that they have a struggle in their lives and that they have to deal with it.
Confessing that you're a lying, cheating son of a bitch doesn't help, does it?
Maybe if you are a MAGA, you should probably confess that you don't know crap about religion like you think you do, and that the Pope does.
The Pope's got the inside track on that.
And then walk away from the mirror.
Yeah. Get the hell out of there.
Get out, admit your fault, make your amends, and leave.
I'll meet you in Warren, New Jersey.
Go to Warren and listen to him crimping the tubes.
The title of our next book, Crimping the Tubes.
Crimping the tubes, baby. All right, Mike, I'll see you on Friday.
Okay, man. Feel better.
All right. Peace, love, and Manischewitz, baby. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you on Friday.
What a wine. See ya.